Good morning! It is Sunday morning and I thought today I would record the third series to my Bollywood set. The first one was what is Bollywood, and the second one is my favorite movies from the 90s. And that one was a shorter list because 90s movies that are good quality and have subtitles in English are harder for me to find. So I had 20 to start with and I narrowed it down to 15, so there are some runner-ups, but I'm going to leave those out of the video. Maybe I'll do like a runner-ups video after everything else. I put these in order by year, so I'm starting with the earliest ones and then I'll end with the most recent. Again, I'm going to put a little subtitle on the bottom of the screen so that you guys can like actually type it out and look it up if you're interested in watching it. Okay, so number one, Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham in 2001. That movie is very, very good. It's like probably one of my very top favorite movies. It's about family, it's about romance, it's about siblings. It's a really interesting movie. It's got great song and dance. It's got a great cast. It's beautifully done. Definitely need to check it out. It's probably on my top 10 of all times. Lagan 2001. It is a historical movie, kind of. It is a romance. It is a sports action. It is so well done. Great songs, beautifully directed. It was a beautiful movie. Devdas 2002. Devdas might be one of those movies that you've heard of because so many people have heard of Devdas. It's like one of the most famous Bollywood movies ever. It was probably one of the most, if not the most expensive Bollywood movie ever produced. It has a great storyline, but it's not the happiest. It's not happy at all, actually. Devdas is one of those movies that I watched once. I said I would never watch again. I watched it again. I understand why it's beautiful. I understand the artistic of it. I think it's amazing. The songs are like on the top of my list of favorite songs that I listen to. But it's one of those movies that if you don't like sad movies, you're not gonna like this movie. It's the storyline is hard. Okay, number 4, Veer Zara 2004. Veer Zara was one of the first movies I watched, and I think that was a really good choice that my friend Pri introduced me to. Veer Zara it's an interesting movie because it's about a Pakistan and an Indian. It's about a Muslim and an Hindu, and they fall in love, and it's just such a beautiful story. But like, that's the backstory. There's like a current story that is in depth and beautiful and shows women empowerment, and it's just a beautiful movie. And the songs, of course, again. The next one is Swades in 2004. This is a Shah Rukh Khan movie, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna like this movie, but the storyline behind this movie is just phenomenal. It's beautiful. Like, it's about a guy who comes from a big, I think a big corporation or a big industry, and he goes to visit his childhood village. 6 is Paheli, or Paheli, I'm not sure how you say it, Paheli, in 2005. This is a fun story. This is like a folk story. This is like a story about a ghost that falls in love with a human and their love story, and it's a good folk story. It's fun, the songs are beautiful, the dress is beautiful, like all the costumes are beautiful. And it's just really fun. I don't know, it's just a really fun movie. Rani Mukherjee, which is one of my favorite actresses, and Shah Rukh Khan star in that one. Black in 2005. It stars Rana Mukherjee and another, of course, super famous actor that I can't remember what his name is. It is not a romance movie. It is basically like a Helen Keller story. It's about a girl who can't speak or hear, might even be blind. It's been a long time since I've watched this movie. I'm not positive. But it's like this older man ends up taking care of this girl and teaching her how to communicate. And it was kind of a harder movie for me to watch, but it's so beautifully done. Rang De Bastani is a beautiful movie. It has some very well-known actors in it. Amir, can't remember his last name. And the story, it's like a current story, and then they go back into the history, and the back in the history, I believe, is true. So let me know in the comments down below. It's been a while since I've watched this movie, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe that the history part of that is true. Aja Nachale in 2007 was one of the first movies I watched, and it's one of the first movies that I would recommend for people who have never seen a Bollywood movie, because it's a Bollywood movie, but it's like a kind of a current dance movie. It has Madhuri Dixit in it, but it's a more current movie, and that's in 2007, so that's 10 years ago, but still it's more current. And it's about a teacher who goes back to, she lived in New York and she goes back to India to help save the it's like a temple or the platform that they used to perform on. Someone wants to tear it down and make a mall. Laga Chinari Main Dog in 2007. This movie it's got Rani Mukherjee in it, and a whole bunch of other people in it, but it's an interesting story because it didn't seem like a story that I would expect from a Bollywood movie. But it's about a woman who goes to Mumbai, I think, to find work, and ends up having or feeling like she has to become an escort. And how that affects her family, and in good and bad. And it's a really in-depth storyline. Chak De India. Chak De India was in 2007 as well, and Chak De India is it's about field hockey, which is not a sport that I have any interest in, but it's about a female field hockey team, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's a true-ish story, or based on a true story. And Shahrukh Khan plays a like a washed-up field hockey player who ends up training these girls, and it's a great story. And it's cool because it's like it could be interesting for guys and girls because it's sports. And there's not, that movie, I don't even know if there is a dance scene in the whole thing. But it's girl empowerment, and it's just a really good storyline. Rab Ne Bana Be Jodi in 2008. It's a story about a woman who's supposed to be getting married, and her dad is like really happy because she's about to get married, and her husband to be passes away, and so she's unable to get married to this man. And her father requests his favorite. He like tutors this guy and like helps train this guy, and has helped like get this guy into his career. He wants her to marry him, and it's the story of their kind of arranged marriage. She accepted because her other husband had passed away. I'm screwing up the storyline, but basically you need to watch it. It's a really, really cute storyline. It made me mad for moments in between, but it's got lots of good dance in it, and it's a super cute storyline. Dil Bol Hadipa was from 2008, and I know this movie got a lot of slam and it wasn't like a very big hit in India, and a lot of people probably wouldn't like it very much, but I found it to be super entertaining. Rani Mukherjee and oh goodness, I can't remember his name, play in this, and it's about a girl who wants to play cricket really bad, and she ends up dressing up like a boy and playing on a boys team, and there's some romance in there, and then that causes some drama in there. Another super cute girl empowerment movie that I thought was super well done, but apparently there was a lot of slam in it, and there was some moments in it that were like super cheesy and like, okay, that's really over the top and like not realistic, but you just take movies for what they are. I don't count all those movies to be super realistic, so it's not like an issue for me. But I loved that movie. I loved the story. It's a lot like, there's a similar movie in America called She's the Man, and that was kind of a little bit more of like a teeny bopper, like a younger adult movie, with Amanda Bynes, where she wanted to play soccer really bad, and so she ended up playing on the boys soccer team dressed as a boy. Very similar kind of storyline, but I prefer the Bollywood one because I like song and dance, and I actually, Rani Mukherjee is one of my favorites, so there you go. Number 14, Three Idiots in 2008. This movie is so good. Lots of people know what this movie is. It's about three guys that go out on an adventure. I don't want to give anything away, but it is fun, it's funny, there's great song and dance. It's great for a guy to watch for his first Bollywood movie. It's cultural, it's just really cool. Okay, so the last one is probably the most recent on this list that I've watched, Bachana E Hasino. And this movie is kind of fun because it's like lots of little different storylines, like romance stories in it, and heartbreak, and then it kind of brings it all back around again. And I'm not positive, but I think it plays like homage to like some of the older Bollywood movies, because there's some like similar storyline and like little, if you've watched some of the other movies, you maybe will have caught some of the little like things that they threw in there. So those were my 15 favorite movies from 2000 to 2010. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys have any suggestions of movies that I didn't list or that I need to watch, leave them in the comments down below. Give me a like if you are enjoying this series. I said I was only going to do 2 more, but I think I've got 3 more. This one, plus the 2010s to current, and then I'm going to probably bring in some of my my runner-ups and some favorites that I left out of this list, and that I will tell you why in another video. So anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Much aloha. Take care. Bye.